My name is Alexander Clark, and I'm an attorney that sues insurance companies. I like that Progress Texas is a dedicated arm of communications and strategy that always wants to articulate our values in a way that can be distilled down and shared in conversation, that you can keep up with things even if you got a busy life. We're due for a win. Let's get in there.
It's Thursday, June 25th, 2026, and this is the Progress Texas Daily Dispatch, rapid response on the breaking news stories Texas progressives need to know. I'm Chris Mosier. Progress Texas amplifies progressive values, leaders, and actions through our no paywall podcasts and digital media. We make Texas politics easy to understand and to participate in, and your support for fact-based independent media hands the mic to millions of Texans. Thanks huge to B.E. Nix, Cherie Allen, and Roy Bishop for their ongoing sustaining support. Much appreciated. We're headed for the coast this morning, Corpus Christi and the Texas Democratic Convention, of which Progress Texas is the official media partner. For those of you also taking part, a reminder that we'll kick things off supporting our friends at the Texas Progressive Caucus at a happy hour tonight, Thursday, 6 to 8, at the Goldfish on North Mesquite in Corpus Christi, and we'll be set up to meet and record with folks like you, yes, you, in the main expo area at the Hilliard Center from 8 to 5 on Friday and Saturday. If you're a regular listener, please do come say hi and be a part of the fun. The hammering out of the party platform is once again central to the function of the convention, and Michelle Davis at Lone Star Left has provided a great overview of what to expect from that process. See that link in the show notes, and we're posting a copy of the initial version of the platform that we discussed on Tuesday to progresstexas.org today before we hit the road. Blaise Gainey at KUT in Austin sets the stage as Texas Democrats hit Corpus Christi with an unprecedented level of momentum and strategic focus. Encouraged by that recent Texas Politics Project poll that shows the Tallarico-Paxton matchup in an absolute dead heat, other statewide races within closing distance, and a massive edge among independent voters. This surge of optimism has been strong enough to attract national attention. Prominent champions, including progressive spirit animal and U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders, likely 2028 presidential candidate and Minnesota Governor J.B. Pritzker, and other high-profile speakers are on the scene, all as the convention seeks to serve as a critical launching pad to unify the party's highly diverse spectrum of experiences, expertise, and ideas, and to energize grassroots organizers across the state to activate the base as well as those prized independent voters out there. Texas Democrats will seek this weekend to maximize mobilization and to bridge the intra-party primary divisions that are always a part of this process. This year in particular, there's an emphasis on shoring up the confidence and the strength of turnout among the crucial black constituencies of Texas. Yes, there's the story of Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett's absence and the reasons for that, which frankly are valid and must be addressed. But at Progress Texas, we predict that unity will prevail in the end, especially given the massive opportunity that lies ahead this fall, representing an historic chance at a significant improvement in the daily lives of millions of Texans. The stakes here cannot be overstated. That optimism, clarity, and righteous call to unity, given a successful weekend in Corpus Christi for the Dems, stands to end up in sharp contrast to what happened at the ruling Texas Republican Party convention in Houston a couple of weekends back. That event laid bare deep systemic fractures within the party of the three-decade Texas regime, complete with public infighting and a distinctly defensive posture. Rather than projecting stability or presenting exciting new ideas for Texas's millions of traditionally Republican voters, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick and others used the Houston platform to further alienate the GOP's traditional conservative factions, responsible for almost 1.5 million votes cast for ousted incumbent Senator John Cornyn over the primary process, and to launch aggressive, flimsy, and obviously anxious attacks against Democratic nominee James Tallarico, who has clearly shaken the regime to its core. The blatant bigotry directed out loud at the handful of Muslims who attended the Republican convention simply defies any common semblance of decency. The Texas GOP's increasingly hostile messaging and reliance on aggressive rhetoric signal a party deeply unnerved by tightening poll numbers and a political landscape in Texas that's sharply shifting right under their Lucchese's. We've arrived at the point where Texas Democrats have got to get this right. Straight through Election Day in the midterm, 131 days remain. until November 3rd. As we pack our cables and our microphones and our cameras and our computers and our Advil, all of us at Progress Texas are thrilled to be at the center of a moment of historic excitement and opportunity for the Lone Star State. Only every couple of years do the most active and dedicated progressive Texans gather in person to meet, learn from, engage with, fight with, and raise glasses with each other. And to boot, this year's gathering in Texas is the largest Democratic convention in the nation. There can be no doubt that in this moment of MAGA meltdown, Texas Democrats are faced with a chance to make history. But to turn that potential into reality, they will have to emerge from Corpus Christi as a truly unified force. We envision a convention in which every participant, and we're talking about people of extensive expertise with and passion for their issues of interest, truly and openly considers the viewpoints of their counterparts. A convention in which common ground, purpose, and strategy can be developed with the goal of winning elections and political power to make progress. We want to see a convention in which compromise is not seen as capitulation, but rather as a locking of arms chosen over a locking of horns. We envision a convention in which prior intra-party conflicts, whether based on policy or personal competition, can be overcome and replaced with renewed solidarity. We want to see Vicky Goodwin having laughs with Marcos Velez. We want to see selfies being taken together by Gina Hinojosa and Bobby Cole. We want to see nachos being shared by Congressman Christian Menifee and Congressman Al Green. And yes, we want to see James Tallarico arm in arm with Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett. Politics is a tough, competitive business that attracts big personalities and people of grand ambition, which can make the path forward from the primaries a tricky business, requiring those big personalities to put the overarching collective goal ahead of their own objectives. This dilemma is present from the biggest marquee elections all the way down to neighborhood precinct chairs and local club leadership positions, but that difficulty does not negate the essential priority of a cohesive and strong coalition. Democrats have a chance in this midterm cycle to emerge from 3 decades in the desert. Let's all expect from ourselves and from each other whatever sacrifice might be necessary to bring Texas out of the dark and into the present that we all want to achieve for ourselves, for our kids, for our neighbors, and for our shared future. Democrats must unite in order to prevail in Texas. And we'll find out this weekend in Corpus Christi whether or not the Texas Democrats of 2026 are up to that challenge. Again, Progress Texas is proud to be the official media partner of the 2026 Texas Democratic Convention. We hope to see you tonight as we team up with the Texas Progressive Caucus for a warm-up happy hour, 6 to 8 Thursday night at the Goldfish on North Mesquite. And we'll be set up to hang out with you in the main expo area throughout the convention at the Hilliard Center, 8 to 5 both Friday and Saturday. A quick program note that tomorrow's Daily Dispatch will come to you from the convention, and so will likely be a little later than usual. We'll do our best to have it up by 10 a.m. Central on Friday. Houston listeners, the next episode of our In Progress Roundtable show will come to you on the radio in the middle of a new Thursday afternoon block of progressive political programming this afternoon. In Progress starts at 6:30 p.m. every Thursday on KPFT 90.1 FM in Houston after the Progressive Forum and before the midterm show with Ernest Wittring. And it runs a second time every Sunday morning at 11 on KPFT FM HD2. With your support, we hope to expand our radio footprint beyond Houston this year. Hit the link in the show notes to make your tax-deductible donation to help us reach new audiences via Texas Radio. That's the Progress Texas Daily Dispatch for this Thursday, June 25th, 2026. Links to all these original stories can be found in our show notes. When lies in Texas are well funded by the far right, your support for fact-based reporting is needed and appreciated. I'm Chris Mosier. Thanks so much for listening. See you in Corpus, and we'll catch you again here tomorrow morning.